This is Melissa Wagenhofer, Week 8 Video Observation Journal Number 3. To complete this assignment, there were 4 two-hour observations of instruction that took place in an elementary 1st through 4th grade self-contained autism spectrum disorder classroom, serving 1 or more students with ASD. During the observation, the Autism Program Environment Rating Scale Self-Assessment Companion Tool Preschool and Elementary Revised Version was used. The completed sections of the APPers for this assignment were social competence, personal independence and competence, functional behavior, family involvement, and teaming. The observations relative to the criteria on the form are: within the social competence area, teachers and staff scored relatively high. They were consistent in their implementation of promoting positive social interaction among those with ASD and their average neurological peers. It was a great thing to see reverse mainstreaming. Those students who came into the classroom for reverse mainstreaming were empathetic, positive, and encouraging. Teachers fostered an environment of acceptance and modeled positive interactions amongst all. Their peer buddies were fantastic because those with ASD normally have a difficult time interacting, and their buddies took the awkwardness out of the equation and enabled positive interaction and modeled acceptance, acceptable behavior, and appropriate social skills. Within the personal independence and competence area, staff also scored fairly high. There were many strategies in place to promote independence. There were visual schedules, visual timers, and first and then cards. These things enable a student with ASD to be successful transitioning and completing tasks independently. However, students seem to be unfamiliar with some of these strategies, and I'm not sure if it is because of the consistent prompting to escalate the process and students do not have an opportunity to actually complete the visual task independently, or if it is a new strategy implemented and they were still becoming familiar with it. Self-management skills were fostered through the use of token boards, behavior up-down chart, visual boundaries, post-to-visual social stories, and calm-down boards. Through utilizing these strategies, students were able to recognize their own behaviors, and some were even able to self-correct in order to earn their reinforcement, what they were working for. Within the functional behavior category, the classroom observed scored high. This was a real strength within the classroom. This was not fully observable during observations, but through interview, all staff, service providers, and parents were included and consolidated when conducting and completing a functional behavior analysis. All those involved are also included and united when creating and implementing an intervention. In developing a comprehensive intervention plan, the classroom observed scored high where it was the real strength. Again, this was not observable, but through interview, all staff, service providers, and parents are included within the intervention plan. All individuals involved implement agreed-upon strategies so that the replacement skills and behaviors can be implemented across all environments. Universal implementation of replacement skills and behaviors across all environments is important because those with ASD experience sensory, communication, and motor differences that greatly impacts their ability to regulate their own functional behaviors. This ideology will reinforce desired outcomes and hopefully empower the individuals with ASD to be able to utilize strategies independently or recognize their own behaviors and self-correct. Within the family portion, involvement in this classroom scored high as a real strength within. Parents and families are a part of the students' daily academics. Teachers communicate with parents regularly. Educators do this through personal daily conversations, text messages, emails, and daily communication logs. When it comes to family involvement, there is still some work to do. However, the teachers and staff are not at fault for this score. This is due to district policy where any other staff outside of the case carrier or service provider, speech and language pathologist, occupational therapist, those people, they are not allowed to speak directly with families and parents, so paraprofessionals can't do this. So the teacher is the one who shares information as paraprofessionals are required to redirect family and parents back to the teacher about student information. Teaming was a great strength. Through observation, each member within the classroom work as one unit. All team members implement and reinforce team decisions for each individual student. All team members meet weekly on a regular basis. Wednesdays after school are regular meeting days where team members discuss collected data, clarify anecdotal notes, discuss student goals and achievement, collaborate on behaviors and strategies, and clarify curricula and accommodations for the following week. They also discuss ways to promote student independence and reinforcers. When it comes to education, this is an important component and it is looked upon as so. All team members seek out professional growth regularly, Paraprofessionals are provided professional growth opportunities regarding student needs and strategies, and most team members are also enrolled in actively taking college courses to further their knowledge in order to support educators and students to the best of their abilities. Aspects of the classroom that were appealing to me and which ones were not. Aspects that were appealing were how social competence was encouraged and fostered. I find this to be specifically important because reverse mainstreaming promoted social skills and provided explicit opportunities for students to practice their social skills in a safe, non-threatening way. Through this reverse mainstreaming, staff was able to explicitly teach, monitor, and facilitate peer interaction and socialization. Social stories were used and practiced and promoted, prompting expected and appropriate behaviors throughout the school. It is a fantastic thing to witness. Then, peer buddies. Phenomenal. Being a peer buddy provides a chance for students with and without disabilities to work together in inclusive educational settings. There were also peer buddies at lunch and recess promoting appropriate social interactions and behaviors. This is an amazing program because being a peer buddy encourages positive social interactions and social relationships to develop between students with and without disabilities. Aspects that were not appealing to me were in the personal independence and competence area. Although strategies were in place to promote student independence, students did not seem to be as familiar with the routines as one would hope. When it comes to personal independence and competence, it is important for educators and support staff to provide students with ASD an opportunity to learn independent living skills, acceptable social skills, and foster their talents in order for them to be successful assets to society in later life. Staff was not consistent with the use of their visuals and strategies to promote independence. Staff would intervene and verbally and gesturally prompt students to complete desired tasks, so that students did not get a consistent opportunity to do so independently. My overall impression of the classroom learning environment was, it was a positive, inviting, safe, clean, and students had access to age-appropriate curricula, modified and individualized to their abilities and needs. Students had a voice and a choice in matters that pertain to them. The classroom physical environment responded to students' learning preferences. Routines and practices may have a predictable rhythm. Lastly, and most importantly, staff seem to really know each student individually, and they have built trusting relationships. In conclusion, understanding social competence, personal independence, and competence functional behavior, family involvement, and teaming, educators can create the appropriate learning environment for ASD students. When educators are conscious of their pedagogy, student needs, current evidence-based practices, and implement appropriate strategies and methodologies, we foster positive learning environments where students can achieve to their highest academic potentials. It is evident that the classroom that was observed, they take these aspects into consideration when teaching those with ASD.